Welcome to episode 14 of On Top the Cage. For those doing the math at home, that is 2 touchdowns and 2 extra point conversions, which apparently isn't that easy in the National Football League. I checked it out this week. There were 10 extra points missed last week alone.
Jeez.
That's a big number. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm well. Might as well do our what's become like a weekly Columbus Crew update. Tell us what's happening.
Championship, baby. Saturday night. At home.
At
in
Moffrey.
Columbus. Weather's supposed to be crappy, though. I wish it would have been dry, but looks like it's going to be 50 and some rain. The Seattle Sounders are coming in, so they're kind of used to playing in that weather. So we'll see. Seattle, they play well. It's going to be a tough game, but we're going to be pulling for the Crew.
The Crew have a new stadium that's being built right now to be ready for the opening of next year's season. What a great send-off for Moffrey.
That'd be awesome. I don't know if
They're
the new
hosting.
stadium is going to be open for opening day.
I
thought I saw July.
Did it
Could
get
be
pushed
wrong,
back?
though.
But what a great send-off for Moffrey, which is kind of a historic stadium. It was the first.
Absolutely.
It was the first soccer-only built stadium in the United States.
Who owns the Giants? The Mara family?
No, it's the Hunt family. They own the Kansas City Chiefs. Lamar Hunt was the owner of the Columbus Crew.
Yes.
I looked it up today. Wikipedia, great source. The Crew started in '96, founding franchise of the MLS. They played their first 3 seasons at Ohio Stadium, the Ohio State University's football stadium. Obviously, it's not really built for soccer. And then in '99, Lamar Hunt caused the first soccer-only stadium to be built. So that's an awesome thing.
And Shane, that segment was for you.
My buddy Shane is not a soccer fan. Actually, I got multiple comments like, Dan doesn't strike me as a soccer guy. Anyway, Dan plays. Do you still play, or do you recently retire from his club
retired,
soccer?
but I started playing soccer in 2nd grade, and I just retired. I played goalkeeper on our 30 and over team called the Ball Busters. I don't know.
I went to a couple of those games. I've tailgated for a couple of those games.
Hey, you got to tailgate. You got to lube up the joints. 30 and over. Good grief.
I hear you. All right, a little housekeeping from last week. The beer review that we did last week was from the Taft Brewing Company in Cincinnati. William Howard Taft, 27th President of the United States. I was enjoying the can presentation, and I'm like, it looks like he's in a bathtub, instead of a sleigh. My brother-in-law Teddy, who's a big history buff, he's like, it was a bathtub. There's a legend when Big Bill, as he was referred to as William Howard Taft, was not a small man, got stuck in the bathtub at the White House. I think it's all lore and legend and things like that. But in any event, it certainly was a bathtub. Teddy, you were correct in regards to that.
Hell, that must have been a small bathtub.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a big man.
He was bathing in the sink.
The other thing, housekeeping-wise, St. Nicholas Day, I mentioned I thought it was an Irish holiday. It's not. It's a Catholic-Christian thing. My buddy Dan, and we're both Catholic, he practices quite a bit more than I do. With that being said, I'm not sure you didn't have that in your bag last week, knowing what St. Nicholas Day was.
No, we don't celebrate that. I think it's a Norway thing or something, because I thought it was wooden shoes or something outside.
Oh, shoot. Tell your story about, Catholic Church-wise, right before offertory, they pass around the hat so the Catholic Church can have even more money. Tell them how you formulate or calculate what you give the Catholic Church.
Well, it's not only the church, but it's just about any other fundraiser. My point of reference is a case of beer. So it's a $20,
So what, 10 years ago it used to be $12?
No, a case of beer really hasn't changed price. I can't remember the last time.
When I started drinking at 16.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, when I was drinking Busch Light in college or Milwaukee's Best.
When you could find the Bud Light man, or what was that little thing that you could find in the Bud Light packages? Do you remember that? And you would win something?
I kind of remember that, but the gimmick, but I don't remember what you could find.
My tax return says I get $500 to the Catholic Church every year.
Oh, that's good.
All right. In any event, that's the housekeeping for the week as well. Last week's numbers. Dan, another great week. Dan's 9-6. I went 8-7. Cumulatively, Dan is +5 on the year at 96, 91, and 5. I had a horrible third quarter. I'm 90, 97, and 5, -7 on the year. I went back and looked at our quarter pole, half pole, and obviously we're at the three-quarter pole right now. Each team, there's no more buys left. All the NFL teams have played 12 games. At the quarter pole, I thought this stuff was easy. Dan and I were both +9. At the half pole, I was +12, still gaining traction. Dan was +6. At the three-quarter pole, brutal. Dan's holding steady. He's at +5. I'm -7. Just a really, really difficult stretch between weeks 9, 10, 11, and 12. So, in any event, we'll do better. Dan.
Isn't this for the loser?
That is right. I was at the dollar store today because my wife only gets the best wrapping paper for her Christmas presents. I found this trinket here, and I know they're antlers, but I'm going to refer to them as the horns. Whoever has the worst record on the week has to wear the horns, so I will sport them this week.
Fantastic.
Hopefully not
You may as well
much
just
longer.
Staple those to your head.
I'm not sure people are going to take a serious handicapper like myself, wearing these antlers or horns. I don't know. All right. That's enough of the intro. On to the full week. Obviously, we have 16 games, and right now we're scheduled to have a normal week. We're supposed to have a Thursday night football game, a full slate of 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games on Sunday, the Sunday night football game, as well as one Monday night football game.
Hold on. We forgot this.
Oh, you're exactly right. The beer.
I can't start without drinking.
The beer review, for sure. It is coming from Arche again because I think they are the best brewery in our area. We did one of theirs earlier, the Candy Cane Milk
Stout. A guy that
Stout.
drinks booze all the time.
I do. I'm a liquor drinker, not a beer drinker, but I'm a huge fan of this brewery. Ron Shea knows what's going on. He's got a chemist degree, I think, and things like that. I don't know Ron, but I read our story on his website. In any event, this beer is called Twitchy. It's what it says on the can. It's generally called Twitchy Bitch at the actual breweries. I thought it was holiday enough because it says it's an imperial stout aged on eggnog brulee coffee beans. It is a heavy beer. It is 9.25% by alcohol.
You'll stop twitching soon.
I might be doing this by the end of the show after this. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's really good. You can't tell me it's not good.
This is one of those beers that would mess you up because it doesn't taste like beer. It actually has a really good taste to it.
It's amazing.
9.5% alcohol, though. Good grief.
Nutmeg? I feel like there's a little nutmeg in there.
It's good.
You like eggnog?
Yeah.
What do you put in it?
Rum.
Use rum?
Little Captain.
You do See, people do Captain. We do Crown over here normally, but you can mix whatever you want in there. I mean,
Sure, I've done Crown.
the bourbon industry has went wild. I mean, you could put that peanut butter flavored bourbon whiskey in there, salted caramel. I think it would all be good. But I picked this beer because I was tired of Slay all day and keeping the order in regards to this. And this one certainly is a contender, if you ask me.
What was the other Arche one we did? With,
Candy Cane Milk Stout.
It tastes an awful lot like that. That one you got the peppermint when you first hit it. It's good.
It's a damn good beer.
So is that other one.
Maybe we get a little sponsorship from Arche because I really love their beers. Certainly do. So, all right. I'm glad we didn't mess that up and we got the beer review in before we start picking the slate.
Thank God I can drink during this show.
On to the Thursday night game. The 6-6 New England Patriots, who are still not buried. They play the Los Angeles Rams, who are 8-4, a rematch of a Super Bowl quite a few years ago. The Patriots are coming off an absolute demolition of the Chargers. You know what? Now that I think about it, I just said they play the Chargers. They're playing the Rams. That's the same. Did they even go back to New England? I mean, they played on Sunday in LA. They probably just stayed out there, I guess.
I would hope. Would make more sense.
This is a really good coaching matchup, if you ask me. I mean, obviously Belichick, is.
Yeah, they're buddies. They talk on the phone.
And McVay's a great schemer, a great schemer of plays and things like that. The Patriots are winners of 4 out of 5. The Rams are coming off a win against Arizona. The line is the Rams -5.5. I think this one comes down to me. Do you get the good golf or the bad golf at quarterback for the Rams? He did not turn the ball over last week. They won. What are your thoughts on this game?
I think that line's a little too big. Little too big for me. I'm not sold on the Patriots being a really good team. The Rams defense, I still think is good. The defensive front's good. They show up. Oh, man, 5.5. I don't know on this one.
The passing game is non-existent for the Patriots.
Yeah.
I these are two great coaches. I'm going to lay the 5.5 with the Rams on this game. Who you on?
I think I'm going with the Rams too.
It's just not enough firepower. I've said it multiple probably weeks in a row with the Patriots. It makes me nervous picking them. Although, I mean, they scored a ton of points out in LA where they're still at against the Chargers. Couple of special teams touchdowns. There was a blocked field goal at the end of the first half. They returned for a touchdown with no time left on the clock. Just a brutal game, and we'll talk about the Chargers in a bit, who are somewhat of a mess. All right, on to the 1 o'clock slate. On Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings, they are 6-6. They are clinging to the last wild card spot in the NFC. They go to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 7-5. The Bucs are 6.5-point favorites. They are coming off bye. The Cannon discussion is back, and certainly up for grabs if you want to lose it again on that.
Well, hey, the cannon fire still sucks. 6.5. I don't like 6.5s.
I tell you what, speaking of that, the Buccaneers feel like they've been disjointed all year.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they look okay and sometimes they look bad. I mean, the Vikings, they are, they started out the season 1-5. They've made their way to 6-6. Like I said, if the postseason started today, they're in, which is really shocking to me. But they bring that running game, and Cousins hasn't played too bad. They got a legitimate playmaker in Justin Jefferson out of that draft.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the points in this game. I'm on the Vikings plus the 6.5.
Did the Bucs play this past weekend?
No, they're off bye. They are off bye.
I'm taking the Bucs then because they're coming off a bye.
Yeah,
That's the only reason.
Arians and
Hopefully
Brady
they fixed their stuff.
Yeah, Arians and Brady need to get on the same
They
page.
went and got in the hot tub together.
I don't know what that means.
Right. Martini.
On to the next game. The Arizona Cardinals are 6-6. They play the New York Giants, who are 5-7. Two teams going in very different directions. The Arizona Cardinals have been installed as 3-point favorites in this game. The Cardinals are losers of 3 in a row. The Giants are winners of 4 in a row and coming off a really impressive showing out in Seattle.
Yeah. That was awesome.
You picked it right. You picked the Giants. I'm like, I don't know what the reasoning would be. I mean,
they're coming around.
The Seattle offense is so good. I mean, they had Colt McCoy playing quarterback for them. The Giants defense absolutely smothered, confused, whatever adjective you want to use. Russell Wilson. I mean, I was absolutely shocked with that. I mean, they are there. It's them and the Washington Redskins, and they're going to battle that out for that division. Like I said, the Arizona Cardinals are -3 in this game. It is in New York. Who do you like?
Giants.
I do too, and it's largely because still Kyler Murray, and we talked about the Giants being out in Seattle. Kyler Murray injured his shoulder in Seattle like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he hasn't run the ball like since then, really. He was averaging like 70 yards a game in rushing. He's down to like 20 over the last 3 games since that injury. Until that dynamic is added back to that offense and I see it, I don't trust them. I'm going to take the Giants as well in this game, getting the 3 points. All right, Kansas City Chiefs. They travel south to play the Miami Dolphins. The Chiefs are 11-1. The Dolphins are 8-4. The Chiefs have been installed as a 7-point favorite in this game. The Chiefs are coming off a win against Denver.
They look like crap, though.
They did. They're the best offensive team in football.
Yeah,
there's no
they
two questions.
Still look like crap.
Did you see the game?
Yeah.
I don't want to be whoever the guy is for the Chiefs in the replay booth saying, "Hey, Andy Reid, challenge that call." Oh no, I don't want to be in that meeting the next day because that was 100% a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
That got completely blown. So I mean, obviously the Chiefs are a proven commodity in regards to their offense. The Miami Dolphins, they're coming off a win against Cincinnati. It wasn't the greatest performance. They were actually down by a point at the half. It was a very chippy game. I know Tyler Boyd, the wide receiver for Cincinnati, and Xavier Howard, the star cornerback for Miami, got into a little tussle. They threw them both out. I don't think they should have been thrown out. But then, later in the game, there was a couple of cheap shots on the punt returner for the Dolphins. They hit him late both times. Blatant calls. Flores was pissed off, which I like Flores' fire a lot. He's completely changed that culture. And between him and your guy Stefanski, they're certainly battling for the coach of the year, if you ask me. But, it got chippy. He was out at midfield. So Tua played okay in that game. Once again, the calling card is for the Miami Dolphins is their defense, and they get the best test on the board this week.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going with the Chiefs.
So am I.
There's too much power on that offense.
I think the Finns are going to cause people problems. I think they make it in the postseason when they travel with that defense. But once again, this offense from the Kansas City Chiefs is proven. Although Denver slowed them down a little bit last week,
yeah.
I'm going to give the points as well to the Chiefs at -7. So Dan and I are in agreement on that game as well. The Tennessee Titans are 8-4. They go play the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are 1-11. This line is -7.5 in favor of Tennessee on the road. The Tennessee Titans got absolutely ambushed by your Browns last week. They got ambushed the first half.
I was in shock.
They got demolished by the Browns. And we're going to talk. I promise you,
we're
we're
going to
pick
the Titans last week.
Yeah. So we both were on the Titans, and a lot of people thought that line was small, and they were bet against their hometown team. And I tell you what, that was an impressive performance. And we'll talk about Baker and the Browns here in a bit. But they're not the team on the board. The Jaguars had an overtime loss in Minnesota, a game they probably should have won. They're playing out the string in this game. The Titans are 8-4. They are tied with Indianapolis for that AFC South division lead. I don't know who's going to win that and who's going to be in the wild card race and things like that. But this is a game they have to win. I like the Titans -7.5.
As do I. They have to win.
Their defense.
And they're pissed because they got spanked.
The Titans' defense sucks.
I don't know what the problem
You saw it?
there.
You saw it. I guarantee.
Bad.
I don't know if you're washing windows. Were you washing windows?
No, we were putting up the tree.
Putting up the tree. Speaking of washing windows, we're going to break for a second. You mentioned that, and I remember thinking about it last week. We wash windows too, and I used to take out screens in my house, but I don't know why. I don't do it anymore. Do you still take out? Do you take out the screens each winter when it comes?
No.
My parents used to always do that, and I did it for the first few years, and I'm thinking, what the hell is the difference? Anyway, I don't take out screens. That has nothing to do with this podcast. It just came up. All right, very good. We're both on the Titans -7.5 because they have to win this game. I think they're going to come back and show. We both like Vrabel. The Dallas Cowboys coming off a loss just last night again in Baltimore with their 3-win record. They go to play the Cincinnati Bengals, who are kind of a half less at 2-9-1. Cowboys have been installed as 3.5-point favorites in this game. They looked okay at the early outset in Baltimore, but their defense is atrocious.
Their defense, and this kind of drives me nuts when you hire a coach and he tries to shove his defense in with the players he's got. They're not a 3-4. They don't have the personnel to do a 3-4 defense. They've got a 4-3 setup there.
Putting the square peg in the round hole.
Yeah, and so to me, that's just a coach being a jackass. Their defense is freaking lost. In this game, geez, I don't.
Yeah, like I said, the Cowboys
honestly,
are -3.
I'm taking the Bengals on this one because the Cowboys are they're a train wreck. No, but wait, Dalton's coming back home, isn't he?
He is. I was going to
Shit.
just mention that. Dalton comes back home. You won with that. The Teddy Bridgewater going back to Minnesota thing.
I'm taking Cowboys. I'm changing that. I'm going with the Cowboys just because of the Dalton factor.
I suppose the Cowboys aren't still out of that horrible NFC East. We mentioned the Bengals. They played okay coming off that very testy game down in Miami. Oh, Cowboys -3.5.
Their defense is awful. Awful. That whole coaching staff's a train wreck there. They should fire them guys. And who's that offensive coordinator that played at Boise State?
Oh, Kellen Moore.
Yeah, he should be the head coach.
Yeah, maybe.
Get the hell out. Mike McCarthy. Good. Thank God.
I don't like retreads, and I mentioned that already, coaches and things like that. I think Dan got on me a little bit first week for our first episode. But there's not a team in the National Football League that has more question marks about the direction of where they're going to go than the Dallas Cowboys, if you ask me. They are -3.5. They have firepower, and I mention it all the time. It's just a defense.
CeeDee Lamb is a stud.
He is an absolute stud.
He's
You
a
can see
stud.
it. That was a
I
horrible.
can't believe he didn't catch that Hail Mary at the halftime.
Oh,
It's right in his hand.
How about the awful call, the 2 plays before, where he clearly got held and Dalton?
Oh, yeah.
That was probably a touchdown.
Hey, wasn't that Crew? Didn't that Crew do another game over the weekend? Because I swear to God, I saw
They
that
shouldn't do one
referee.
this weekend.
God. Yeah, the call you're talking about.
You on the
was
Cowboys?
awful.
You're on the
I'm
Cowboys?
on the Cowboys. 'Cause-
So am I. I don't even want to be on the Cowboys. But I'm on the Cowboys.
yeah, but it's the Dalton factor.
I'll buy it. I buy the firepower from the Cowboys, and obviously the Bengals playing with their backup quarterback. It's next year for the Bengals, and I mentioned earlier I like their chances next year if they, they're going to have a high draft pick and they're going to bolster the offensive line, and hopefully Burrow's fine. They're going to come out and be gangbusters. We'll see about that. That's week or year 2 of On Top of the Cage, which we will be renewing
Holy
our contract
smokes.
for sure. All right, next game on the board, the Houston Texans. They're 4-8. They go to travel my Chicago Bears, Soldier Field. The Bears are 5-7. This is a pick'em game because both these teams stink. The Houston Texans are coming off their loss against Indianapolis. Watson's been great all year. The Bears are coming off a loss at home against Detroit where they kind of had control of the game. They didn't have control of the game. They gave up 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns in a matter of 41 seconds. The defense has collapsed. Matt Stafford threw for 400 yards in that game. I don't know what's going on with my Bears. I don't know what the mindset is, in Hallis Hall with the Bears. This is Watson versus Trubisky, that infamous draft in regards to where the Bears chose the wrong person, whether or not they would have chose Watson or Trubisky. It didn't, or Watson or Trubisky, Watson or Mahomes. It did not happen. This is a pick'em game. I'm going to declare early. I'm going to take the Texans. I don't like the mindset of Hallis Hall from what I've seen, and I follow the Bears religiously. I'm going to take the Texans in this game because the best player on the field is going to once again be Deshaun Watson.
I'm going with the Bears.
Why?
Bears.
Why so?
Deshaun definitely is the best player on the team. I think they checked out. I mean, the way that game ended,
Houston was at the 2-yard line. They should have beat Indianapolis. There was a
should
bad
have.
snap. I didn't see it. I don't know if it was on the center, if it was on Watson, or what happened with the fumble. They lost a fumble at the 2-yard line late in the game at home against Indianapolis. They probably should have won the game. They lost the game by 6. The Bear pass rush is atrocious right now. It's not getting there, even though they have Mack and their free agent acquisition of Quinn has been an absolute disaster. He has 1 sack on the year. It was his first play from scrimmage that he played. He hasn't done anything since. He wears number 94. You barely see it. In any event, I'm on the Texans, and my friend is on the Bears. How about that?
Bears.
So you got a true podcast here with being very indifferent. I guess that proves it right there. So the Denver Broncos, they are 4-8. They go to play the Carolina Panthers. They have the exact same record. The Panthers are 3.5-point favorites in this game. The Broncos were very game in Kansas City. Their defense is stout for the most part. They did lose. They only lost by 6. I think the final score was 22-16. They're a very difficult team to predict, and obviously there's lots of question marks around Drew Lock and whether or not he's the quarterback of the future.
Tons of questions.
There are a lot of questions. The Panthers they're off by. I think they're kind of a fun team to watch. Christian McCaffrey's back this week. I don't know what difference that's going to make. Not that McCaffrey's not a great player. They're 3.5-point favorites in this game. This is another tough one for me. I'll let you go first if you're willing.
Panthers.
Because of McCaffrey or why?
McCaffrey, and they're at home.
I think it's a field goal game. I'm going to take the Broncos getting a 3.5. I like the Bronco defense. We'll see what McCaffrey does. He's playing. There's 4 games left. I might as well play. There's no worry about that. You got the whole offseason to figure this out. We do like Matt Rule and his staff and Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator in Carolina.
Absolutely.
I still think Joe Brady gets looks. There's going to be quite a few head coaching vacancies, I think. I think Joe Brady gets a couple of interviews already. Even being 1 year in the National League.
I think he gets interviewed. I don't know if we're going to.
You know who else is going to get an interview is Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. In any event, we'll get to the Bills in a bit. Next game up, the New York Jets are paper airplanes, 0-12 still. They go out to Seattle.
What a train wreck they are.
Seattle's 8-4.
You're going to fire Greg Williams because of that last play?
1,000%, and I have a different
No
opinion.
way.
Apparently, the Seahawks are 8-4.
Get out of here.
They are-
You know the defense. play.
Hold on. They're almost 13.5-point favorites.
Get the hell out of here.
Almost 2 touchdown favorites. They're 13.5-point favorites. Dude, their coach is tanking. That was the worst defensive call I've ever seen. There's 15 seconds left in the game. The Raiders are at midfield. You're gonna call a cover 0?
That's the call that's come in. You got to go play.
Okay.
That's the problem with the Jets because they don't have players. It's not the defensive coordinator. Give me a break.
Cover 0 where there's no safety.
That's fine.
You leave Henry Ruggs, who runs a 4-2 man on man.
Move your ass and cover him.
That's a horrible call.
Now,
I would have fired him on this. I wouldn't have let him get. I wouldn't let him make.
That corner should be.
There was
fired.
5 seconds left in the game. I wouldn't have let. I would have escorted him off the field. That's
Get the
a
hell
horrific.
outta here.
He tanked. He's like the MVP of their team. They still have Trevor Lawrence because that was a horrendous defensive call.
No.
Oh my God! Why do you
Perfect
like
call.
Greg Williams? I hate that guy, and he's an idiot. if
That's
you
the
ask me.
defense it's called. Don't screw it up. You know you're out there on an island.
You play prevent. You put people 10
Get
yards,
outta
15
here.
yards back. The kid runs a 4-2. And
Come on.
That's a horrible call.
Now, blitz him. You still
Well-
got to throw the damn ball.
We went on a tangent on this. He likes Greg Williams. I can't stand him. I'm glad he got fired. He 100% deserves to be fired, in my opinion. But anyway,
Oh, good grief. The Nagy should have been fired freaking 6 weeks ago.
why?
Because he sucks. Their offense sucks. He's an offensive guy.
6 weeks ago.
They suck. Their offense is blows.
6 weeks ago, the Bears were 5-1.
And then they put Foles in 6
They're
weeks ago?
losing.
Get out of here.
All right, hold on.
Hold on for nothing.
All right, the Seattle Seahawks, they are 13.5.
Seahawks.
they come off a loss at home to the Giants where they absolutely smothered, the offense of Seattle. I don't know how that happened. I mean, this is the perfect remedy coming to town in the New York Jets, so for sure. Is they're going to let Russ cook, whatever the hell that means? I mean, is Russ going to cook?
Yeah, they're going to win. I mean, he can cook. I don't know what he cooks. If it's
I
any
don't know
good.
either. I struggle with it. The Jets haven't played that bad.
What, in the last 2 weeks?
You know what they
haven't
should
played
do?
that
You know what the
bad?
Jets should do?
They're going to suck now that they got rid of their defensive coordinator.
You know what they should do? They should draft Trevor Lawrence and hire Dabo Sweeney. Although Dabo pissed me off in that game against Notre Dame where he's being a big baby.
crybaby.
In any event, I picked the Jets 1 week this year, and I lost with them. And I said I wouldn't
Pick
do it
them
again.
again.
I'm not going to do it.
Dude.
I'm not going to recant.
ahead.
I'm not going to. Last week I said I wouldn't do it again. I'm not going to do it again. We're both on the Seahawks minus 13.5. By the way, that was the first 4 o'clock game on the Sunday slate. The next game up, which has enormous wild card implications in the AFC, the Indianapolis Colts are 8-4. They go to play the Las Vegas Raiders, who are 7-5. The Colts are 2.5 point favorites. We mentioned earlier the Colts are coming off a win in Houston, where they're fortunate to kind of escape that game and win. The Raiders,
What the hell's going on there? Are they tired of Gruden there?
they're a mess. I mean, they just look off. It's like they only
Yeah.
play good against Kansas City or something. I mean, we both know, regardless if we disagree on Greg Williams in the call, they completely look off, and they should have lost that game against the Jets.
Oh, they should have. There's no doubt about it. I don't know if they're still tired from the Kansas City game.
Your team beat Indy, meaning the Cleveland Browns. They beat Indy, but they lost to the Raiders, right?
Yeah, it's shocking that we lost to the Raiders.
Well, I'm just thinking about the wild card implications and
yeah.
things like
oh,
that.
yeah. So we need Indy to win.
I like them. I did the Vegas Raiders have just been way too inconsistent lately, in my opinion. I mean, the Colts didn't play great, and this is the second week in a row where they're traveling out west. They're minus 2.5. I like them to squeak this game out late. I'm on the Colts minus 2.5.
Raiders.
You think they're going to
Yeah.
come back?
Yeah. I like the Raiders.
I hear you. I understand. I mean, they're very off and on, and I don't know. That's a very very difficult game to me. All right, the Washington football team. They are 5-7. They go out to San Francisco, which is playing in Arizona right now, who also has the same 5-7 record. The Washington football team is coming off an enormous, awesome, big comeback win against Pittsburgh.
Politically correct team from Washington beat the undefeated stinking Steelers. I can't freaking believe it.
The line on this game is the 49ers -3. I can't believe it either. They were down 14-0 in the game. It looked like it was going to be over.
Well, you know what Steelers fans are bitching about? When Alex Smith trotted off the field with the ball.
Oh, yeah, I saw that with the,
Come on.
with the field goal.
Quit freaking crying.
Nobody
knew the rule about kicking ball. That's all everybody knows.
He was just trying to get off the field.
He's trying to get off the freaking field, not this, bullshit. Oh, the guy on the TV told me the rules that, well, if it's a time issue, we'll just use the ball on the field. My ass, none of you stupid Steelers fans knew that freaking rule existed until Mike Pereira told you.
No, I like Mike Pereira, by the way. He's
Yeah.
a big Tito's fan. He drinks Tito's in New York and, starts talking about whether or not it was a shitty call or a good call.
Hey, Steelers.
That's a damn good job. I want that job. All right, anyway, back to the line. The Washington football team, the 49ers are three-point favorites over the Washington football team. Alex Smith is the runaway winner of Comeback Player of the Year. Their running back, Antonio Gibson for Washington, has turf toe. I have a feeling he's going to be out. The Washington football team are winners of 3 in a row. We're talking about the NFC East again. The Giants are winners of 4 in a row. The Washington football team are winners of 3 in a row. San Francisco comes off a loss against Buffalo. I think their defensive scheme can cause people problems, though.
Washington's?
No, San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Well,
Robert Slay is their defensive coordinator. I think he's going to get looks for head coach.
He's going to get looks. You going to hire him? Who's going to hire that guy? He should be the best defensive. Like last year, he had all those freaking studs on that defense.
The National Football League has morphed into such an offensive league that I would never hire a defensive-minded head coach. I would only hire an offensive-minded head coach.
I want the guy with the shittiest guys that makes them the best defense. That's a good coach to me. Not this guy. He's got all freaking the whole freaking defensive line was #1 picks. They better be freaking good.
They're all injured, and they're still playing well. Who do you like? The 49ers are -3.
I got to talk about Washington because I don't know what Del Rio's doing with Chase Young. Did you watch that game?
He's a stud.
He's a stud, but he's standing up. Why? I don't. You're taking on the left tackle Villanueva, standing up. Put your freaking hand in the dirt and beat him off the line. Come on.
I like Mike.
He's freaking covering guys. I don't get it. Chase Young's a stud. He could have destroyed Roethlisberger.
I tell you what, and Dan's a defensive coach from high school, youth ranks, things like that. He knows what he's talking about in regards to this. I want to talk about the conversation to Mike Tomlin. I like Mike Tomlin.
Oh, that was the best. We suck.
Well, he's like, hey, I'll never have a football player exactly like you because I'm not willing to lose 13 or 14 games to get a player like you. And that's what it takes to get a stud like Chase Young. And he's going to be a force in the National Football League for a long time to come. We're just kind of keep on talking about this game because I don't know who to pick in this game, really.
Dude, I see Chase Young on the outside, and then he runs inside and tries to come up with the. I'm like, what are you doing? It drives me nuts.
I'm on the 49ers -3.
I'm taking the politically correct team from Washington.
How many games do we have different?
I don't know.
A lot. Somebody sent me. I hope the horns are on his head.
We're stapling them on your head.
You're very festive, by the way, as I look at the screen, man, with your red and green.
Hell yeah.
All right. Next game
all
up.
these T-shirts, I gotta wear them.
Who gave you that? You don't buy stuff. You bought it?
Hell yeah. It was on the sale rack after Christmas. It was like $2.
Where?
Old Navy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You go shopping?
Yeah, every once in a while I'll walk into a store.
My neighbor Mike went shopping. He tells his wife he was going to go shopping. He bought a $600,000 property and then
what? Where the hell did he go shopping?
At an auction. This is like a few years ago. He's probably getting pissed at me talking about it. He lives right next door to me. It's awesome. And then he had to sell it like 2 months later because his wife got so pissed off at him about
nice.
it. In any event, Mike's not allowed to go shopping anymore. In any event,
I'm
all
allowed
right.
to go because I buy $2 T-shirts.
Yes, $2 and $600,000 are different things. All right, the New Orleans Saints, they're 10-2. They play the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 3-8-1. The Saints are -7. The Saints are coming off a win in Atlanta. The Eagles are coming off a loss in Green Bay. We're going to talk about them and my stomping for Jalen Hurts in a little bit. But the Saints, I think they get Breeze back this week. They haven't declared yet, but I think Breeze is coming back. He's a difference maker, and you shook your head, but I don't.
Well, I wouldn't rush him back for this game against the Eagles.
All these games are important. They're 10-2. I mean,
okay,
it's all seeding.
If he's better, have him sit on the bench and be ready. I play Taysom Hill. I'm taking the Saints and the 7.
They're coming off a win in Atlanta. The Eagles, like I said, are coming off a loss in Green Bay. Hurts did spark them. I mean, he came in with, I want to say, like 6 minutes left in the third quarter. And
for one series.
No, he played the rest of the way.
Well,
he played the rest of it. I mean, he sparked them to a touchdown. They got a return touchdown. They got close. There was a drop ball on. He looked better. He certainly sparked them. And I've been stomping for Jalen Hurts to play for a long time, but I kind of understand now more that Hurts does have the job right now currently, which looks like probably through the rest of the season. It's because there's no worse thing than missing on a quarterback early in a draft, except for getting the quarterback early in the draft and then giving them a monster extension, and then he's not your quarterback, which is what Philadelphia did. They gave Wentz a 4-year contract worth $128 million. That's $109 million guaranteed.
Hey.
There's no way to get out of that. They're completely screwed if Wentz is not their quarterback going forward. I mean,
people railed on us for not taking him. I'm glad we didn't.
I wanted Hurts too, but the Bears drafted Cole Kmet.
I'm talking about Wentz.
Oh, yeah. Even if he gets, they can't even trade him. He's like a $60 million cap hit if they trade him.
Anchor.
Well, they get tagged for like $60 million if they trade him. Like, that's a horrible mess in Philadelphia right now. The Saints are -7. I'm going to bank on Drew Brees coming back, and I'm going to lay the points with the Saints -7.
I got the Saints too.
All right, very good. All right, the Atlanta Falcons, they go to out to LA to play the Chargers. The Falcons are 4-8. The Chargers are 3-9. The Falcons are 2.5-point favorites in this game. They are, as we mentioned just a minute ago, coming off a loss versus New Orleans. Both these teams are kind of playing out the strings. I would like to refer to this game as the game of the battle for blown lead supremacy.
That's perfect.
There's no two teams that have given away wins like these two teams.
Oh, that's classic.
I mean, the Chargers are coming up after they didn't blow a lead.
And
they never had a lead.
2.5, so someone's going to blow it at the end. Who's going to blow it?
I mean, the Chargers coming off a blowout loss against New England. Lynn's out as that coach. I think he's a terrible coach. I mentioned it last week. Falcons are -2.5.
Falcons.
I'm with you. I'm going with the Falcons too. I mean, Herbert is no longer. I mentioned him probably 4 weeks ago when Burrow went down, as I thought he was a lock for the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think it's Justin Jefferson right now. Things have kind of turned in LA with the Chargers, and Herbert hasn't put up the numbers. They used to be putting up points week in, week out. They went to Buffalo and didn't do very well. I mean, last week was an absolute debacle against the Patriots. So I think Justin Jefferson, who has proven what a good trade for both those teams. That offseason trade between Stephon Diggs and with Diggs going to Buffalo, and then they get the high draft pick back, and they take Jefferson. So it worked out for both teams in regards to that. We're both on the Falcons -2.5. Last game on the 4 o'clock slate, the Green Bay Packers, they're 9-3. They go into Detroit Motor City. Lions are 5-7. The line on this game is the Packers -7.5. We just mentioned they beat Philadelphia. They're the second best. The Packers are the second best offense in professional football, just behind the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't think that's disputable. I mean, Aaron Rodgers Rodgers things.
If Mahomes wasn't here, Rodgers would be MVP.
He still might be MVP.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's got Devonta Adams, I know, but that other cast of
there's
misfits are ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, their tight end is Robert Tonyan or something like that. I mean, he's an undrafted dude. You got Alan Lazard. You got the kid with multiple names, Valdez Scantling. I mean, if the Packers did not draft Aaron Rodgers' successor, and let's say they drafted Justin Jefferson, they might be the best offense in football. I mean, they need an extra playmaker out there. In any event, the Packers are -7.5. Here, the Lions are coming off a win in Chicago. It was Darrell Bevell's audition, if you will. I mentioned they got 2 touchdowns late, 41 seconds to go. I don't know about this game.
Packers.
Packers are on kind of cruise control.
I'm taking the Packers.
You know, I hate Matt Patricia. Do you know that? I mean, I thought he was a lousy coach. I think his players hate him. Daryl Bevell in his press conference after Monday, Tuesday, he was asked if Matt Patricia called him and congratulated him. Said, no, I haven't heard a word from Matt Patricia. What a dick. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. I mean, you've been hand in hand for the last 2-3 years. I mean, not to congratulate the guy who's been like your right-hand man, you know? I mean, that's bull, if you ask me. I think that's Bush League. I think Matt Patricia doesn't get a job in the National Football League again. The Packers are minus 7.5. Once again, I said they're on cruise control, but there's still positioning in regards to, the 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed in these playoffs, and I like them as well, minus 7.5. I'm going to lay the 7.5 with the Packers. That is the end of the Sunday day slate, the Sunday night football game. This is a great game. The Pittsburgh Steelers, coming off the first loss of the season, they are 11-1. They go out to Buffalo.
Second loss coming, baby.
Not a very far drive. I mean, they got a bus there, right? They don't fly there. How far is Buffalo from Pittsburgh? It can't be more than an hour or so, right? Hour and a half?
Who gives a shit? They can ride a boat up the river and freaking walk the rest of the way.
The Bills are 9-3. The Bills have been installed as 2-point favorites in this game. The over/under is 46.5.
The Bills looked awesome the other night.
They looked
awesome.
They totally looked awesome. They went back out. They exercised their demons in Arizona, where they were playing San Francisco, where they lost to that Hail Murray play. But Josh Allen looked spectacular.
Yeah, really good.
I mean, he's got enough mobility, and he throws darts. I mean, they looked really, really good to me. I mean, they at the early in the season, they looked really good, and they were my pick for week 1. I think we got a new, champion of the AFC.
Oh yeah.
East, and I think it's gonna be the Buffalo Bills. I think that was my quote in the first episode of On Top of the Cage, and they went through a little doldrum for a bit, but they're back. They're playing really well. That performance out in Arizona was amazing. The Steelers are coming off their first loss, like I mentioned, against Washington at home. The problem with the Steelers right now
is they can't run the friggin' ball.
Exactly. They're one-dimensional. I mean, this is the second week in a row that Roethlisberger's thrown over 50 passes in a game.
Coming off of an elbow surgery.
Right. I think they do get James Conner back, but
it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, I agree. There was a lot of drop passes in that game.
If the Bills' offensive line, the best thing on the Steelers is their defensive line. Tuitt, Hayward, and that Hawaiian kid playing nose tackle. If you can stop that defensive line, and then you got that Watt kid.
Oh, he can play.
Yeah.
They lost Bud Dupree.
On the other end. That's what I'm saying.
Their defense is still good, but they are one-dimensional, and they haven't run the rock at all.
You got to be able to run it.
No, but the offensive line needs to be able to keep Ben up. Why can't they run the ball if they can protect Ben? I mean, they're two different things. You know a lot more about offensive line play than I do. I mean, is run blocking completely different than pass blocking?
Run block. That's when you get to mash somebody.
Right. I mean, offensive linemen love to run block. They hate pass plays. They love run plays, right?
Exactly.
So if you can pass block, why can't you run block?
The Steelers were known for that play where they pulled the backside tackle all the time. I haven't seen that play. I just haven't. They used to run it to perfection where they pull the backside tackle and run for 8 yards.
Right.
That's fine. Great. 8 yards. I haven't seen that play.
I'm taking the hot team. I like the Bills at minus 2. They were so impressive last week.
Screw the Steelers.
Fair enough. I mean, all right.
Screw the Ratbirds.
Here we go. Dan's team. This is Monday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens are 7-5. They just come off a win last night.
Oh, they're back. They look so good. They played the Cowboys.
We're going to talk about that. They go to play Dan's 9-3 Cleveland Browns. This is a pick'em game. The over-under on this game is 46.5. There's a lot to talk about this game. Dan mentioned the Ravens. They probably have a little bit more confidence. I mean, their offense is really sputtering. There's nothing like a remedy like the Dallas Cowboys on defense.
Absolutely.
So I mean that helps them in regards to that. The Browns, they're coming off a demolition of the Titans. I tell you what, they're a really dangerous team. if Mayfield can continue this. I mean,
Oh,
he
hell
looked
yeah.
awesome, especially in the first. He threw 4 touchdown passes in the first half. I think they're better without Beckham
Well, I agree with you.
because he doesn't feel the pressure to throw the ball to him.
His
'cause it's
rookie
prima
year,
donna.
he was better without him.
I mean,
When we had Jarvis, is to me is a stud. Jarvis is the ultimate player.
he's a great player. He's a tough player. He's a tough as nails
Great
player.
leader.
You can see it.
It's just he makes everybody better.
Beckham's a prima donna. Mayfield doesn't feel like he has to throw the ball to him anymore. I think they're better without him. Frankly, if he gets hot, if 6 gets hot, look out for this team in the playoffs.
No, he throws the ball around too.
Yeah.
I mean, Higgins, Peoples-Jones.
Give the
Landry,
Donovan Peoples-Jones what they want.
freaking tackle scored. I mean, come on.
I just love saying that.
4 touchdowns.
You're a Michigan guy. Give the Donovan
Hey,
Peoples-Jones
I'll take a
what they
Michigan
want.
guy. You perform for the Browns, man. Your sins are absolved, baby.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I tell you what, I think the Browns are a scary team.
Browns.
I like them too. I like the Browns over the Ravens in this game. I really do. I think
And
it's
the
gonna be
Ravens
awesome.
season now.
They can. They have. That's a good point. I wish the fans were there because this would be a
God.
raucous atmosphere. You would see the F Modell signs, and I agree completely. The Ravens stole their team. I mean, I'm not even a Browns fan, and that pisses me off when something like that happens. I agree. They have a chance to say there's a new sheriff in town again. I mean, they had a chance in Pittsburgh. They didn't do it. They got a chance to show the Ravens that we're here and we're for real, and they need to make a statement. So I'm on the Browns. I hope it happens. I hope they have a chance to bury them and possibly knock the. Although the Ravens have a pretty soft schedule after the Browns.
They have a really soft schedule. After
They
the
do. I
Browns.
think it's Jacksonville.
I think they play the Jets twice.
They might play both. Well, all of a sudden, both New York teams are not soft anymore. The Jets are. The Giants are not. In any event, that is your entire slate of the National Football League. The college football pick, the pageantry, which is Army-Navy.
Wait, who won the college pick last week?
Who did we play?
Texas A&M. And
You did.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, whatever.
I just wanted to bring that up.
I think you're still behind me. I think your horns for
Get the
college
hell
football.
outta
You should have
here.
to, your horns for college football.
No,
for sure
I'm not horn. I'll
You
put
should have to
those
put it on
horns
for the
I'll put it
one
on
game.
my ass.
Anyway, all right.
Horn this.
All right. We got the midshipmen, and the Army cadets here. Army is a 6.5-point favorite.
Where are they playing this game?
West Point. It's the first time that they played in West Point since 1943. Generally,
Nice.
they play this at a neutral location. I feel like lately it's been at the Link in Philadelphia.
No, it's been at the Ratbird Stadium, too.
Oh, it's always there. I mean, the Naval Academy's based in Annapolis, and then the Army headquarters are in West Point, New York, right?
I don't know.
Is the Navy in Annapolis? I feel like they're in Annapolis, which is Maryland.
Well,
this is the
They should
121st.
never have to play at the Ratbird Stadium. Trump should build them a stadium for this game.
Speaking of Donald Trump, he did declare earlier this week that he will be in attendance for the Army-Navy
Oh,
game.
hell yeah, he should be. He's the president and commander-in-chief.
Army is 7-2. They are 6.5-point favorites. I don't know a lot about these teams.
Yeah.
With
just
that being
looking
said,
at the record, I'm going with Army.
I always watch it though. It's the pageantry of this thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Although
Navy has some cool-ass uniforms.
This year it's very marble and like part of the ocean and things like that. I think that
Remember the year they had the ships, the different
different ships.
Those
That was
were freaking badass.
super awesome. Yet in each whether it was the safeties or the offensive players or defensive line, they all had different battleships.
Right.
That was super cool.
That was really
It's
cool.
the pageantry of this game that makes it so amazing, and I always watch it, even though it's not necessarily great football. It is the 121st presentation of this game. I'm on the cadets minus 6.5 because my father was in the Army.
I'm going with Army just because of the line, but hey, there's no loser in this game.
The Army,
Thank you for protecting our ass.
yeah, for sure. We mentioned
Let's
some of the
us
stuff
do
in
stupid
Veterans
shit
Day.
like this show.
It's not stupid.
Well,
This is a
I'm
serious
serious.
handicap.
Yeah, serious.
This is a serious handicap
we're
show.
serious.
Even though I have antlers
Don't
on right
lose your
now.
house on what we're saying, but yeah.
All right, very good. I think that's a wrap on episode 14 of On Top the Cage. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.